Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Bishop, a Tier 5 British SPG. It's on the southeast spawn of Empire's border, and this one is under the command of Targy. Now, he sent me a question: why didn't he pick up another medal? In fact, the medal he was looking for was a Stark's medal. And of course, you can only get that if you kill 2 enemy tanks. You then suffer 2 hits from the enemy, penetrating shots or non-penetrating, and the amount of hit points you would have lost is equal to 2/3 of the hit points of your own vehicle, and on top of that you have to survive the battle. So it's quite difficult to get, mainly because obviously you have to fulfill that condition about actually receiving hits. Well, many of you actually probably have heard of the Stark's medal, don't know where it actually comes from. It actually does come from the Battle of Kasserine Pass in North Africa, and in Tunisia. That's where the American forces first came into contact with German Afrika Korps. Rommel's forces actually ambushed the Americans quite successfully, and a huge number of American vehicles were wiped out, but one particular vehicle, which was commanded by a Colonel Stark, actually did manage, it was an SPG, and it managed to defeat some of the enemy vehicles. Not all the Americans died at Kasserine Pass, a few survived, but it was a tremendous defeat for the Americans, but it actually taught them a lesson, and that lesson is that oh crumbs, that wasn't very nice. What it taught them is that they needed to think about how they actually engaged the enemy. So it did actually bring about a victory of sorts. In fact, if you ever see the film Patton, you'll actually see that General Patton himself visited the site of the battlefield along with General Bradley, or rather Bradley went there first, and after that he was able to bring in the changes necessary to actually enable the Americans to win. Okay, we've got a BDR G1B, French Tier 5 heavy tank. Oh, and he's got his first kill, so Targy has fulfilled, well, part of one of the first conditions, which is to kill 2 enemy tanks. Going for his next shot. Yep, got a direct hit on the T1 Heavy, 153. Now he's got a 4.5-inch howitzer capable of 450 alpha, penetrating 28mm of armor. So you need to get thin armor in order to get a penetrating shot and do a lot of damage. He's trying to get shots on that T1 Heavy as he backs up. That's not going to hit. Came close though. He was just aiming slightly away from the actual object. Oh, T1's gone. Okay, so only 1 kill so far. Now, one of the problems about the Bishop was that the angle they put the gun inside the casemate meant that it actually had a limited range. In fact, you had to get very close to the enemy to get shots. And with the actual Bishop, you had to park the thing on an upslope if you wanted to extend the range of the vehicle by increasing the elevation of the gun artificially. By putting the gun at a raised angle, you enabled the howitzer to shoot further, almost like a mortar in many ways. The Bishop is basically a Valentine tank with the turret taken off, and instead this casemate, which is very thin, it's very thin armor indeed, and the howitzer inside that. Now he was looking there to see if he could actually shoot through the gates of the Great Wall, because of course this is a representation of China. The Great Wall of China, one of the magnificent engineering feats by the Chinese to keep out the barbarians. And yes, it's an astonishing feat of engineering to build such a large wall. In fact, the wall is visible from orbit, apparently. Although I haven't been up there to prove that for myself, it is a well-known fact that it's one of the objects that can be seen from space if you look hard enough. Okay, well, we seem to be doing well in this battle. So far, 2 enemy tanks up, and oh, this is not good. We've just spotted a T-67. In fact, he's engaging our guys. Oh, we've just been hit by a Stug, and that was a non-penetrating shot into the tracks. That one did hit, 96 hit points, 202. And the third shot, 301, lost to the Stug 4. Now, I don't believe that's two-thirds of the hit points. Only 159 out of 460 left. So I think the condition that he failed on, because he definitely had at least 3 penetrating shots and 1 non-penetrating shot. You can see them all there in the reports. The Stug 4 hit him 4 times, but only 3 shells went in. But he didn't lose enough hit points to actually count. The non-penetrating shots didn't count. So they're not showing up as any hit points or any damage blocked on that one. Because, of course, if you're going to get blocked damage, it shows up with a shield and the value showing the amount you actually blocked. On that one, it's actually showing critical hit. So the shells actually hit the tracks, but they wouldn't have gone into the body of the tank, so they didn't do any damage, or at least enough damage to enable you to count them. Now, there's only 2 enemies left, the AMX-13AM and the T-14 heavy tank. The T-14's down near our cap area, but we can't see the enemy Arty. We're guessing he's there. That's where he was last seen. In fact, he's not there at all. He's moved. And in fact, he's halfway across the valley by now. He's running for his life. Of course, this little Arty is actually designed from the AMX 13-ton tank. In fact, one of the members of our group actually has one of these. Oh! Well, he went down to the T1 Heavy, and that was the last kill of the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a 3rd-class tanker for targy in the Bishop, but sadly no Stark's medal, and I can explain why. He managed to get a win rate of 750. He didn't do a huge amount of damage, but he did help in the game because he got 2 enemy kills. Specifically, he took out the BDR G1B and the Stug 4. But let's have a look at the team score, and we'll see why he will see his place in the chart. We can see that the highest damage in that game actually went to the Chinukai, the Japanese premium medium, who got 1,173. Second highest damage went to the SU-85 of 1,102. And the third highest damage went to the T-14 on the enemy team with 1,044. We can see that, I'm afraid, targy only got 336 hit points, but it's not hit points that actually counts in this one. It's what comes in the next column. Yep, we can see the highest number of kills was the T-14 on the enemy team. Managed to get 3 kills in that one. 2 kills went to the Chinukai, the T1 Heavy, the Churchill 3, and there we got targy, got 2 kills as well, and the M10 RBFM. That was all on his own team, and the enemy Fifi managed to get 2 kills as well. Now, this is a crucial factor in actually getting a Stark's medal. When it came to base XP, the high scorer was the Chinukai, got 788. Churchill 3 got 705, and the third highest in this one was the T1 Heavy with 596. Targy was way down the table with only 333, but he wondered why he didn't get a Stark's. Now, we'll see in the detailed report. He fired 10 shots, got 4 direct hits on the enemy. None of them were penetrations, but he did get 5 splashes as well. 336 hit points of damage, of which 285 were at more than 300 meters. The other were closer. He did receive 4 hits from the enemy as we saw them during the battle. They were all from the Stug 4. 3 of them penetrated, and he suffered loss of 301 hit points. And he had 1 non-penetration, which must have hit the tracks. And that tracking shot actually would not have done any damage to the vehicle, so it didn't count as blocked armor. And that's why it didn't appear in the totals. If it had been blocked armor, if the shell had actually hit the tracks and then would have penetrated into the vehicle otherwise, then that would have been blocked armor and blocked shot, and that would actually count towards the total. I'll go through the rest of the details anyway, but we'll go on to why he didn't get the medal in a short while. 3 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 were killed, And he earned 13,832 credits from the game, and after repair and ammunition resupply, took away a profit of 9,957 credits, 25 bonds, and 499 XP times 2 for the first victory, 999 altogether. So, why didn't he get the medal? Well, let's look at the conditions. It says, Stark's medal, whilst driving an SPG, destroy at least 2 enemy vehicles and receive at least 2 enemy hits that cause damage or are blocked by armor. Survive a battle, total amount of damage received and damage blocked by armor must be at least 2/3 of the hit points of your vehicle. Hits on allied vehicles are not counted. Can only be attained in random battles. And then it goes on to remark what I said during the game, that Colonel Stark commanded a French-American task force at Kasserine Pass in Tunisia, and when they were attacked by the Afrika Korps, they suffered losses, but Stark, with his artillery, the SPGs, in fact they were, I believe they were bishops actually, managed to damage the enemy and forcing them to request reinforcements, and of course that gave some of the Americans a chance to survive the battle. Now, which condition did he achieve? Well, he definitely killed 2 enemy vehicles. He definitely received 2 enemy hits. In fact, he received 4, 3 of which actually did damage. And the damage blocked by the armor, well, or actually caused, was 301 hit points. Well, if I put the figures down here, as you'll see when the video actually comes out, 301 hit points was the damage that he received. 460 is his actual hit points, and that comes out at 65%. Yes, he missed out by less than 1% of his own health, and that's prevented him getting the Stark's medal. Now, that's closer than I've ever been. I've lost virtually all of my hit points, ended up with just 1 hit point because I received 1 shot from the enemy that penetrated me, and I did kill at least 2 enemy tanks, but never got the Stark's medal because there wasn't 2 hits. There was only 1 hit. So, yes, I lost all those points. I actually survived the battle, got 2 kills, but no Stark's medal. In this case, I'm afraid it's down to the fact that Targy did take more than 2 enemy hits. He killed 2 enemy tanks, but he didn't take 2/3 hit points of damage on his vehicle, and the shot that actually was blocked, the critical hit that actually hit his tracks, I'm afraid it wasn't any block damage on that, and consequently that 301 was actually just 0.5% less than he actually needed to get the medal. So there you go, Targy. You got very, very, very close, but not on this occasion. Targy has been collecting Stark's medal at a rapid rate. It's not that he's deliberately putting himself in danger. He is actually trying to fight the battle as well as he can. He's just accidentally finding the enemy too close for comfort, and therefore he's taking damage. But on this occasion, he missed out on getting the medal, mainly because he just didn't take enough damage. If he'd allowed that Stug to get 1 more shot on him, then he might have got the Stark's medal. But if he had allowed the Stug 4 to get another shot on him, he might have died as well. So it's probably a good job that he didn't. But there you go. In fact, I think he could have allowed the Starks to get 1 more shot. But in the heat of battle, you just don't want the enemy to hit you again and again. So bad luck on that one, Targy. Just 0.5% too little damage to actually get your medal. I hope that explains it for you. It was a good game by Targy, but sadly no medals this time. But I'm sure he'll come back with some more replays where he does actually get some damage. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.